Hello, I want to thank you for clicking on my channel. I'm PI187, and today I'm going to be reacting to 10 reasons why the UK is the best country in the world. Alright, I wonder how true this is. Let's see, United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, passport. Okay. Alright, let's get our headset on, let's do this.
You didn't know, the United Kingdom is a sovereign country. It is a nation within its own government and has a seat at the United Nations. Its full name is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Great Britain is the larger island that contains Scotland, England and Wales, and then the United Kingdom contains Northern Ireland too. Hey guys, Sam here from the Geography Bible. I hope you are having a fantastic week wherever in the world you may be. In this video, we will give you 10 reasons why we think the UK as a whole is the greatest nation or nations in the world. Now, of course, just like any other country in the world, the nations that make up the UK are not perfect and they have plenty of issues of their own. And Britain has a very turbulent past. Throughout this video, we will try to stay out of politics and keep it quite light-hearted. So let's kick off this video with number 10, the accent and language. Although most of the world thinks that the British people all sound like the Queen or news reporters, this couldn't be any further from the truth. Yes, there are many people who speak the Queen's English, also known as received pronunciation. However, with so much history and different regions across the UK, you will find many different accents and dialect. From Scouse in Liverpool to Geordie in Newcastle to Glaswegian in Glasgow, every accent sounds completely different from one another. You can literally drive 30.
That does make sense though, because the same thing here in Canada. Not all Canadians sound the same. We got different areas like Saskatchewan and Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, Montreal, Quebec. And I live in Ontario. We kind of sound probably more closer to Americans, other than, saying A every so often, then we're Canadian. Maybe some of the other things we say, but I've noticed some other accents here in Canada are a little bit more distinct or just different than so it's not all the same across the whole country either, so that makes sense.
To 60 minutes away from where you live and you will find someone with a completely different accent to your own. The UK is also extremely multicultural, so you will find many different international accents across the country too. Number 9, it's breathtaking scenery. The UK is home to some of the most beautiful scenery in Europe, if not the world, especially in Scotland. The first thing people think of when they think of the UK is probably London, a huge urban concrete jungle. However, if you adventure outside of the capital, you'll find some absolutely stunning countryside. The UK...
Oh wow, that's really nice. I kind of think of old castles and green grass when I kind of think of the UK now after all the videos I've watched. It's what comes to mind mostly. A lot of just very bright green grass everywhere and a lot of old castles and a lot of history. There's a lot of history to that land. Oh, there's some crazy boats.
UK also has incredible beaches too, from the tropical setting in St. Ives and the Scilly Islands to the...
Like, just look at that shit. Let's go back a little bit.
Incredible beaches too, from the tropical setting...
Like, yeah, that totally looks like a tropical beach. Wow. That water looks really nice.
in St. Ives and the...
Yeah. Definitely looks like a nice place to live.
Scilly Islands to the pristine white sand you will find in the northwest of Scotland. The isles off the Scottish Highlands, such as the Isle of Skye, offer some of the most breathtaking views you will ever see. Number 8. It has different countries. The UK comprises of 4 different nations, each with their own culture, history and dialects. And although they claim to hate each other, I think this is generally a myth which is exaggerated on social media. I've met so many incredible...
That's gorgeous. Is it a myth, though? Do you guys get along? Because it doesn't seem like, I don't know, just from, I guess, Ireland isn't really part of your, but it doesn't seem like you really like the Irish very much. But that could just be my interpretation. But I do know here in Canada, I know people of Quebec don't get really along with the people of Newfoundland. And they're side by side. Newfoundland's an island just off of basically Quebec. And I used to work with a couple, like one Newfie and one French guy from Quebec. And they fought constantly. Like non-stop. They were always insulting each other, making fun of each other. They just seemed like they just didn't get along at all. And now, I don't think any of the rest of Canada really has a problem with anybody else, really. Now, the people of Quebec are a little bit different, though, too. So I don't think they really even get along with a lot of people, probably across Canada in general. I've heard rumors, like, if you go there and you don't try to speak French to them, they won't even talk to you. Like, they're pretty kind of rude that way. And not everybody in Canada can speak French, even though it's our second language. Like, we were all forced to take it through school and learnt the basics. Some probably learnt more. We have schools here that are French immersion schools, which if you send your kids to them schools, all they do is speak French. Like, they don't even speak English at them. They teach them everything in French. Everything's done in French, so that your kid's completely bilingual. Today with the technology, it seems kind of pointless when you can just pull out your cell phone and literally talk to anybody and it will translate it for you. But people still do that anyways. They still like to learn the other languages. Me, myself, I can speak very, very little French. I did horrible in French class. It's not even the fact that they just use different words. When they speak, it's in a different order also. Like, their sentences are almost backwards. So I found it very difficult. Wasn't my favorite class by any means. But anyhow, sorry for rambling on again.
Incredible and friendly people from Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland who are very similar to me but with just a different accent. Each country is rather similar. They usually have 1 or 2 large main cities, then plenty of smaller charming towns and villages with beautiful countryside in between. Number 7. It has London, often regarded as being one of the greatest cities in the world. Love it or hate it, you have to admit London is one of the most important and influential cities of all time. People from all corners of the planet come to the UK to visit, to live or to study in London. Yes, it is busy and it's expensive, but it offers some of the most desirable jobs in the world and there is so much to do. You'll also find some of the world's most followed sports stadiums in London too. Number 6. Safety, climate and the wildlife. The figures from the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development, which ranks each member on many criteria including safety, place the UK 11th out of 38 nations for safety, just behind Canada but ahead of Ireland and way ahead of the US, who are in 22nd place. They have the data to back this up too. In 2016, the UK recorded a lower homicide rate than Japan. Perhaps it's no wonder that 77% of Brits feel safe walking home at night alone. Although we love to moan about the weather, Brits feel safe walking.
Wow, that's a busy road. Yeah, wow. That's a lot of people just walking on the street there.
Walking home at night alone. Although we love to moan about the weather in the UK, we are very lucky that we don't experience extreme weather or natural disasters, such as droughts, tsunamis, volcanoes, or bushfires. There are very occasional mini tornadoes and very small.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fires here across Canada. It's something we've been doing for the last few years, I guess. Um, I guess you guys wouldn't have that problem over there with all that rain. It'd be really hard to have a lot of things burn, and it wouldn't last long, I imagine. The rain would put it out. And the fact is, it probably never started, obviously, either, with everything being wet all the time. Um, you would, it wouldn't be ever really dry enough ever really to catch fire. But yeah, that's something. Last couple of years, we've been having a lot of forest fires here in Canada. So our government's now taxing us this, and that's supposed to fix it, I guess.
Small earthquakes, but they are barely powerful enough to knock over a garden gnome. The UK is also home to next to no deadly enough to knock over a garden and very small earthquakes, but they are barely powerful enough to knock over a garden gnome. The UK is also home to next to no deadly animals such as bears, snakes, or spiders. So if you are on a
You don't have snakes there? That's crazy. I guess, yeah, you guys are out in the middle of the water. But there are water snakes. But, I guess pretty much all the animals were probably imported to there. There probably wouldn't have been too many unless they're like original to the island. Like birds, obviously, they can. Yes, I'm petting you. Birds can obviously get there no problem. But anything else, yeah, it would probably have to be shipped in, I'd imagine. Um, we do have bears around here, like locally, not even just Canada, just literally locally. I've seen bears myself when I'm not in my town, outside the town. I also grew up, had a hunting camp when I used to live on a farm when I was a kid, and we used to do a lot of hunting. And so you'd see a lot more wildlife there. But I've only seen a bear probably twice, and both times I think I was in a vehicle and and the bear ran across the road in front of our vehicle. Um, One time was a baby bear, like a baby bear, very small. Mummy was probably somewhere close around, and the other time I seen a medium-sized black bear run across the road. Um, don't want to mess with them, especially didn't want to mess with that baby because Mummy would have just finished you right off. But snakes, we have snakes everywhere here. We have a lot of snakes. Um, Nothing poisonous, nothing deadly. A lot of gardener snakes. Um, their biggest defense mechanism is their smell. You touch them, your hands are gonna stink. Um, the other snakes here really don't smell that bad though. Mainly garter snakes. They give off a bad smell when you handle them. Um, I've never really noticed any other snakes really smelling. They do bite the snakes here, and we have water moccasins too, and they get pretty big and they bite, but nothing deadly. Like nothing that you'd have to be life threatening worried about.
an adventure in the countryside, this is another thing you don't have to worry about. Number 5, the NHS, or the National Health Service. The NHS leads the world in terms of equity of access and ensuring people don't suffer financial hardship when they are ill. It also performs well in managing long-term conditions like diabetes and kidney disease, and is relatively efficient compared to other health systems around the world. The NHS usually ranks in the top 10 or 15 in the world for the best around the world. The
Healthcare ranks among wealthy countries. A received international study compared 11 nations on health and care quality, access, efficiency, and equity. as well as its indicators of health, lives such as infant mortality, overall healthcare ranking. Wow, we're down. What the? Canada needs to get their shit together. And here, most time Canada claims, oh, now maybe that's why we got free healthcare, but like we're just ranked above the states, and I've actually heard the states has better healthcare, just costs you your whole life savings. Um, is that the way? Is it the same way at UK? Is it very expensive for healthcare? Is it free? Um, I have no clue about it, but I see it's obviously ranked way higher than us. But I've heard ours is horrible. Um, the wait-in time is insane. You go to the hospital, you better take like a backpack because you're gonna be there all day. Um, yeah, it and the service isn't the greatest by any means. Now I've heard in the states it's it's pretty fast because the fact is nobody goes to the hospital or anything because the fact it costs so much. People try to avoid going to the hospital at any way necessary. So, uh, but yeah, your guys' healthcare is ranked like top. That's insane. Yes, Plaguey, I'm petting you. My cat's very suckhole-ish attention hog. Look at him. Sticking his head in my armpit.
NHS usually ranks in the top 10 or 15 in the world for the best healthcare systems. Not too shabby. Number 4, the higher education system. The World Universities listing estimates there are over 26,000 universities worldwide. Now, out of all of those,
Wow.
you could probably count on one hand the number that are global household names, and 2 of them happen to be in Britain. Yep, Oxford and Cambridge. They are still the
I've heard
creme of
about
the
them.
crop as far as higher education is concerned. And you've also got Durham too. And the reason for their renown isn't just historical. Across the whole of Britain, the higher education system consistently delivers some of the best results on the planet. Students travel from all corners of the planet to study in the UK. In doing so, they will also get to experience UK nightlife and the quality of life and safety that comes with it. Number 3, castles and ruins. The UK is old as hell, therefore it has many ancient ruins, castles and structures to be discovered far and wide. In England alone, there are said to be around 4,000 castles.
That's a lot of castles, yeah. If I went to England, I'd spend probably most of my time just checking out all these castles. I would just be... I don't even think I could get tired of it. Now, obviously, if you're checking out the same castle all the time, that would get pretty tiring, but there's so many castles, just keep, like, I'd be able to just keep going to a different castle every day and just inspect the whole thing, check it out. Like, to me, that they're just phenomenal. I think it's also phenomenal that you still got them there. They're still standing, after hundreds of years, thousands of years, whatever it's been, how long they've been around for. I know that they're all different. The castles are all from different times, so some are in way better shape than others. Some have been through hell, and there's not much left of them. That one is in very good shape. That's pretty sweet too. Have a castle on your own little personal island.
So if you're from a relatively new country like Australia, New Zealand or Canada or even America, then you may have never seen a castle or ancient building before. So coming to the
Just on YouTube. Yeah, I've seen that castle before. That's pretty sweet. That last castle, that's what I tried to stop it at.
America, then you may have never seen
This
a
little-
castle or ancient...
That's a tiny little castle. Jeez. But really cool. They're just sitting in someone's field too. Like, I love the fences too. Like in my older videos, I've seen these. I didn't think people still did this stuff, but I'm wrong, which I am a lot. these old stone, dry stone walls, I guess they call them. Um, which, like, look at this. Look at how long that one is. And they're everywhere. Yes, yes, I'm petting you. Um, are just awesome because yeah, you don't see that type of stuff around here at all.
Building before. So coming to the UK provides an authentic, historical viewing. Number 2, discovering countries and the Commonwealth. Britain created countries such as Australia, Singapore and the USA, in which in the short space of around 300 years have become world leaders in so many aspects. No other country can claim to have created anything close to what Britain has achieved. In doing so, its legacy has continued to evolve. Much of what was once the British Empire continues to be part of the Commonwealth, an alliance of 54 nations across the world with a combined population of over 2 billion, long after the empire has ceased to exist. Number 1, Inventions. The UK invented most of the tech.
Yeah, that kind of shocked me. They did invent a lot. One thing that really blew my mind is, and maybe it was common knowledge, but I guess, assumed, and you know where assuming gets you. The Titanic was made over there, which that, like, you getting down there, Plag, or what? No, no, you're not. Okay. Um, yeah, for some reason, I always just assumed it was built in America, but nope, it was on its way to America before it drowned. But anyhow, let's see what they invented. I watched actually a video on things that were invented, or like top 10 things invented in the UK or something like that. But let's see what they have to say here.
Technology that the modern world runs on. The TV, the computer, and the World Wide Web. And while Marconi was Italian, he developed his wireless radio transmission in the UK. The list of British inventions is endless. The UK also developed most of the world's most popular sports, such as football or soccer, rugby, cricket, tennis, and golf. The UK is a world leader in the arts, particularly literature and theatre, from Shakespeare to Andrew Lloyd Webber, from Chaucer to J.K. Rowling. We've also had a big impact on music, TV, movies, and video games, such as Harry Potter and James Bond. So there we have it, 10 reasons why we think the UK is one of, if not the best country in the world, or countries. Of course, as we mentioned before, it's not perfect, it does have many issues, but as a whole, it is a very safe and friendly country where people from all across the world decide to emigrate.
Well, reality is no country's perfect, so we all have our downfalls.
So, what is your thoughts on the UK? Do you live here? Perhaps you've never been before and you'd love to visit. Let us know in the comment section below what you think. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to drop a like, and if you love this sort of content and learning about countries and cities from around the world, then consider subscribing. It's completely free and we've got plenty more to come. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you very soon in the next video.
Wow. Yeah, that was a good list. I could see why it would be one of the best countries in the world, if not the best country in the world. They definitely outrank a lot of places in a lot of ways. Let's see who this video was made by. The Geography Bible. Okay. Let's hit like on that. You guys ever watch this guy? Tyler Rumble? He's basically doing the same thing I'm doing, but he's American. But he also he has another channel where his name's Tyler something else. It's not Rumble. So obviously that's not his last name, but his first name is obviously Tyler, because it's Tyler on both of them, where he's American reaction to Canadian things. My wife watches them. I watch him sometimes. He's pretty decent. Does a better job than I do at this. He's very happy most of the time, it seems like. Yeah, he does a pretty good job. But anyhow, yeah, that was a good video. Just more reasons to want to go visit the UK, as far as I'm concerned. The healthcare thing really blew me away. How far down on the list Canada is compared to the UK. Um, Now, I didn't ever really think we were on top of it, but you're always hearing, "Oh, Canadian healthcare, it's free and it's all good and yada yada yada." And there we are on the second, the bottom of the list. Like, now it is nice having free healthcare to a degree. We don't have all free healthcare. Like, dentist stuff isn't free, um, and the waiting time and because it's free, sometimes the waiting times are ridiculous. Like, my daughter, for instance, has to get an MRI, and the hospital, it's for a life-threatening thing, and the hospital wants her to wait 2 years before she can get it done. And she's worried that if she waits 2 years, she won't be around anymore, which isn't good. So instead, she's going to pay $2,000 for a private place to do it like this month, and or in the next few weeks anyway. And that's where the healthcare really is not the greatest here, because the fact it's free, everybody gets to use it. Some people abuse it, and so yeah, the waiting times are just insane. Um, I'm not sure what your waiting times are like over there. If you want to comment about that in the comments below, feel free. And at that note, I'm going to end my video. My cat's name was Plague anyways, if you wondered. That one that was sitting on my lap. Um, that was supposed to be my daughter's cat, and ended up being my cat because she never ended up taking it. But with the way he looks lately, his name should have been Scarface. I think he's been getting in scraps with everybody else's cat in the neighborhood. Or maybe other things, I don't know. But he's got some scars on his head, like, pretty bad now. Um, but he is kind of a little feisty kitty. But anyhow, yeah, good video. Great scenery. I seriously need to go visit here sometime. And I imagine it wouldn't be too hard to twist my wife's rubber arm, considering she's English. Um, she's born here in Canada, but her dad was born over there. So I'm sure she would love to go spend a month or two over there. Um, Take some time off work. But anyhow, I'm rambling on again. So I want to thank you for watching this video. If you could click like, subscribe, comment, that's awesome. If you want to check out this video, I'll leave a link down below. And on that note, have yourselves a great day. All right, bye for now.